talked like, especially with Brett on Cinemarxism. I think you know Brett.
Oh, but, yeah.
Yeah, I've talked a lot about just like the behind the scenes production chaos that they've done, and they still invite me back. So I'm good friends with the casting like lead, and I think I'm fine talking about whatever. So don't hold back.
Okay.
Awesome. Cool.
Well, maybe let's start this episode right there then, because I don't. What is Jubilee? I'm sorry, I don't know. Like, is that when one person gets yelled at by a circle of other people?
Yeah, that's like one of the segments
My
they
literal
do.
nightmare. Being surrounded by people being like, "You're wrong."
Yeah. No, I'm trying to be that guy soon, so we'll see. We'll see if they get it to me.
God.
But they usually prioritize like clout for that, so maybe we got to work our way up to get there.
Yeah.
But, Jubilee's like a media org that is similar to like what BuzzFeed used to be in like the mid 2010s. You've probably seen other ones like Cut, but these are just like big media groups that get this like venture capitalist investment, and they promise that we're going to generate clicks. A lot of that is to sell other advertisements or just be kind of like a breeding ground of visibility for whatever other brands partner with them, because they don't profit a whole lot. It's really not like they're raking in the dough on a lot of their views, but they are bringing a lot of attention. And then I think that a majority of their revenue comes from these like types of sponsorships and these brand deals. I don't want to speak directly for them because I don't know the whole business side, but that's just what I assume, just seeing kind of like what production looks like actually there. It's not this like amazing like professional production. They're really good at utilizing like as cheap costs as they can to make these really viral videos. And I think that's because they've started to really lean into like the political slop. I call it just political porn content of like getting as many people pissed off as possible. Yeah. And like, Surrounded has kind of been like the baby for that. There was other shows that were like political. It used to kind of just be like a fun, I'm going to watch this video while I'm eating lunch of like, I'm trying to guess who the secret atheist is in the middle of Christians, and the atheist is going to pretend who they are.
I remember those. I didn't even realize those were the same company, I guess.
Yeah,
those were like more
around. I know what this is now. Yeah, it kind of reminds me. There's another YouTube channel called I think it's called Cut or The Cut. Yeah. It's kind of like that, but like political, because a friend of mine was on one of those Cut episodes a while back.
Yeah, Cut is like the fun content that's similar to like what a lot of Jubilee started on. And since like 2023, they've increasingly just become like, we're the political debate channel. And it's all because of the show Surrounded, which is what you were talking about with that person in the center, everyone around them. Started with Charlie Kirk. I was on that episode. And then since then, it's just gotten like worse and worse.
How do they like pitch that to you? Are they like, hey, you're going to be one of 20 people. You get to yell at one of the most evil people of all time. Like, is that how it's pitched? Like, here's an evil guy, yell at them?
It was actually insane, June. I was scheduled to be on a Trump versus Harris kind of like debate. And my goal was like, I want to go on there as like the harm reduction guy, say Harris sucks, but this is why Trump is so bad. Blah, 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 blah. And then they pitched me. They're like, hey, we had someone drop last minute from this college kids one. I've been graduated since 2019, so I was like, why am I qualified for this? But they're like,
you're
you told us,
spry guy.
Yeah. They're like, you told us that you were going to grad school, so that could count. I mean, technically that's college. I was like, okay, sure. Like, I'm down to do that. And mine was just like, I guess I'll go on this like one episode for exposure. They just said it was a random conservative in the middle. And my assumption was like, okay, a bunch of college kids. There's probably like an older, like conservative businessman who's going to be like, oh, you kids don't know what you're idealistic.
Mitt Romney. Blah, blah, blah,
it's
going to be Mitt Romney.
Yeah. I thought it'd just be like a nobody. And I get to set and I'm like, I need to use the restroom. They keep everybody in the green room. And I enter into the studio and I see fucking Charlie Kirk with like his goons. And I'm like, oh,
no way. You didn't know until you saw him.
Yeah, no, that's like another part of their gimmick is they don't tell you who you're debating. They just like kind of give you the premise. And I think a lot of it is just to protect their own ass in case like these big profiles cancel last minute. Because it's not out of the ordinary that like, you know, someone like Ben Shapiro would be like, I'll do this. And then like a couple days before, like, I can't do this. I got like a Trump interview I got to do or whatever.
That makes way more sense in context to the recent Jordan Peterson one, because a lot of people, so the title of the video was like one Christian versus 20 atheists. And the way they were talking to each other in that video, they seemed confused. Like the people yelling at Jordan Peterson were like talking about specifically religion, and Jordan Peterson seemed confused that it was all about religion, and there was like that disconnect. So that's probably how they pitched that one, was like, oh, it's a religious guy who you won't know. So people were probably going in expecting like a priest or I don't know.
Pitched that to Jordan Peterson, like,
well, because he's like a pseudo. I mean, he doesn't. I don't think he would call himself a Christian, but I think he is. Yeah.
Well, for a long time, he kind of like towed that line of like Christianity is like a perfect tool for like building a strong civilization, like that whole bullshit.
Yeah.
But I think in the past 3 years since he's been on Daily Wire, he's been like, I'm a devout Catholic. He wears like the Catholic like fucking blazer, just like the whole
humiliation ritual is what they did.
Exactly.
You have to be a good Christian if you want to appear on our network.
Yeah, I don't know if that was like Jordan Peterson just lying after the fact of like wanting to kind of like toe the line, or if it is Jubilee just lying to both participants, which I could also see just to like generate clips. I don't know. But yeah, that's Jubilee in a nutshell. I was talking with iDubbbz actually recently, and he was telling me like, because I was trying to shed the Jubilee label. I don't want to be the Jubilee guy, Mason. And he's
Right.
like, well, you gotta get your start somewhere. Like, I think that you're doing good work and your stream's getting bigger. And I'm like, that's true. And he's like, it's kind of like with BuzzFeed. Like, there's so many people that have built like social media platforms off of like these big conglomerates, and then kind of like shedded that as part of their resume. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting there eventually. It'll be like, oh, Mason, OneHandPolitics, he used to be on Jubilee. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's where we're heading.
You're on that grind. You'll get there. You're very close.
Well, on that note, because we didn't do this at the beginning, sorry, that's my bad. I kind of was curious about Jubilee. Let's should we do the introduction formally now?
Yeah.
So on that note, welcome back to Kill the Computer. I'm Caleb. As always, I'm joined by June. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. It's my favorite time of year. I'm not sweating when I step outside anymore. I'm really hoping for like the bleakest winter possible. I feel like I'm a crazy person. Whenever I go outside in like the winter, my favorite days are when it's like I go out at 9 p.m. and it's negative 10 degrees and I don't see anyone and I'm just walking. I love negative 10 degree walks, and we're almost there. So I'm living big right now. I'm living big.
Well, you get to do that. I'm stuck with 9 months of just drizzle and gray and suicide weather. I'm almost wanting it now because we're at the tail. It's like fire season here, and it's like, man, it's like they're not super. It hasn't been super bad, but like today, I was like, why can't I breathe very well? Oh, because there's a fucking fire, and I didn't realize that. So we're almost out of that at least.
That's something that's like kind of new in the Midwest is we've unlocked a new 5th season, and it's just like smoke season. This time of year, like it's kind of over at this point, but when Canada's just on fire all the time, we just can't see at all. There's just like fog and smog and just awful. So we're past the 4th or the 3rd secret season, new season that was unlocked recently.
Yeah, I think I've told this story on, I guess, the old show now, but I had a friend, because we've been dealing with this for years on the West Coast, but a friend who, like, the smoke got so bad one time it just killed all of her birds.
Oh.
And it's like, it makes you kind of think like, what's that doing to me? That doesn't feel real awesome to think about.
Well, I might have the solution for you. Have you ever heard of piss? Are you familiar with this thing called piss?
It can clear out the lungs, I hear. Well, before we get into talking about piss, we're talking about a lot of different stuff today. I'd like to introduce our guest, Mason of One-Handed Politics. One Hand or One-Handed Politics? Excuse me.
OneHandPolitics.
OneHandPolitics. Mason, how are you doing?
Doing well. How's it going, everybody? Excited to talk about piss, my favorite topic.
I messaged you about hopping on with this episode.
What was your pitch to Mason for this? Like,
I was just like, hey, we're gonna be talking about piss and just like the like alt health communities around it, and you were like, Mason, you were just like, I love the piss communities. I was like, damn, okay, I approached the right guy about this. So you're familiar with like piss communities? It sounds like. Yeah,
June sent me an awesome email. It was very detailed and professional, and it included just talking about piss, and I was overjoyed. It was great. It was the highlight of my morning. So I'm excited about it. Yeah.
Old listeners from back in the early parts of the Western Kabuki era of this show probably do know, we've talked about this before, of like the piss show or the piss community. We've referenced it a bunch of times. We've teased it. We flirted with the idea. I guess kind of it's here now because we're going into more stuff, but definitely we're doing This Is the Piss episode officially. So.
Finally, after 3 years, the piss episode is here. People have been asking.
All right, Mason, what's your experience with like urine therapy and like the alt health community, we'll call it?
Yeah, I have to be completely honest. I was mostly being facetious. I haven't seen too much of the piss specifically, but I am pretty familiar with like the carnivore diet folks. I have a lot of family members who have tried these like alternative medicines. I think like ever since COVID, especially, people have become ever radicalized in just distrusting healthcare institutions. Yeah. And understandably, here in the United States, I mean, it's a lot cheaper to drink piss than it is sometimes to get actual medical advice. So I can see why people get pushed into these corners of the internet. And I'm excited to talk really about the intersections of, you know, why people go to these different forms of medicine or why they can't trust professionals or empirical evidence. And I think a lot of it is just, you know, access to these resources and the gatekeeping that we do in the wealthiest nation in the world.
Yeah, because that's like kind of the thing with a lot of these alt health communities is we could surely do a different episode for like carnivore diet, all of these different alt health communities, but there is like that through line between all of them. Specifically,
each of them represents
just
just some sort of lack that people are not getting from, the healthcare system, or just something that capitalism America is not providing. Right. Are either or both of you familiar with Dr. Peter Hotez?
Is that the guy that you were sending me screenshots of on Facebook?
No, this is a real doctor. This guy's he's good. He's good.
Oh my God.
Oh, he's a good doctor. I don't know about this guy.
Oh wait, yeah, I have seen him. He was the guy that everyone was encouraging to debate Joe Rogan on vaccines, right?
Well, he was you're close. Yeah, he was on Joe Rogan, and they had a really good relationship, like in the earlier parts of the pandemic. And his whole thing, he just kind of got thrust into this because he was like one of the few doctors that had created like his previous team had made like I think a SARS vaccine or something similar. And so when this came out, like he was kind of thrust in the limelight a little bit, and he took it upon himself to kind of go into these like alt health spaces. He's still to this day speaks very fondly of like Dr. Oz. And then he went on Joe Rogan's podcast. He doesn't talk about him. He talks about him like he was just glad that he got the opportunity to have a fruitful discussion in front of his audience, basically, is the way he presents it. But yeah, he goes on Joe Rogan, and they seem to have an okay conversation. He actually, I believe, had gone on Joe Rogan a couple of times, and then like Joe Rogan got mad at him because like he was starting to do like Joe Rogan, turned into COVID Joe Rogan and went like off the rails. And so he criticizes him, and then Joe Rogan won't respond to him for like 2 years. And then he says, come on my show and debate Kennedy, and Elon Musk will also be in the room for some reason.
Oh, RFK. I do. Okay, yeah. It is ringing a bell now.
Did this happen?
No, he refused.
Okay, I was going to say, I feel like I would know about this. I would know about that fucking situation. Who would willingly invite Elon Musk? I don't understand Joe Rogan's actual apparent like of Elon Musk.
Yeah, he acts as like a real cheerleader to the guy. I feel like he brings him up any opportunity that he does just to like remain in his favor. I don't know if Elon is like sponsoring the podcast too, but I mean, I don't think Rogan needs it with like however millions of dollars Spotify's paying him already.
Yeah,
I think Rogan just actually thinks he's like awesome. He's like, again, he's like he's like Elon Musk is the perfect example of like a dumb guy that other dumb guys think is smart. So like that's Joe Rogan in a nutshell. So I don't know. And
not to get too off track, but it really was like I was never really a big like Joe Rogan listener. I listened to like some of his stuff every once in a while. My father, who I think still tunes into this show every once in a while, would put on Joe Rogan. I'm like, okay, he's talking to like a scientist, like a real scientist. Like this is kind of an interesting conversation. And I would listen to the whole 3.5 hours. But then it was like, during the pandemic, he just really like got worse. It seemed like that was like the Spotify era, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, it was alt health for sure, but yeah,
it was the alt health sort of thing. It was like COVID denial. Well, not even denialism necessarily, but just like I feel like COVID was really like a inflection point for so many of these communities and types of people to go this way.
I think
for a long time.
Oh, go ahead, miss. Sorry.
Yeah, he was like the mascot of ivermectin for a long time.
He was.
I remember. Like
Wasn't
everyone
he-
is pointing to him as like the person who has proven that this works. It's
Wasn't
crazy.
he also sponsored by them or something at one point? I feel like I vaguely remember seeing him being like, hey, I got this thing called ivermectin. I might be making that up. I could be
He
wrong.
took ivermectin. I don't think he was ever.
Yeah.
I tried to, and man, if I'm wrong about this, we're going to hear about it. But I tried to look for it really quick, just right before we had sat down to do this. I know he took ivermectin. I don't believe he was ever paid. He may have run some ads on his show for this, but to my knowledge, he wasn't. I don't know.
I think ivermectin, didn't they like discourage use for COVID
Everybody
remedy?
did. Yeah. So
I think them themselves were like, hey, like this is not supposed to be used for this. Like we're the ones who made this product. It's crazy.
yeah. We're jumping ahead a little bit. The reason that I brought up Tez was because like he's I just really admire him. I just watched a couple of his podcasts today and stuff just in preparation for this while I was at work, and he's really gentle about all this. And I think that he views people that are, you know, like vaccine. He doesn't even call them like deniers. He calls them he has some other word for like vaccine hesitancy or something. He believes that, I think correctly, that these are people that are victims
Vaccine
of like a
curious.
really yeah. But he kind of views them as like victims of like a very well-financed misinformation campaign. And like he goes into his whole thing is like his whole body of research is like how poverty affects medical access, right? And how like certain diseases only show up in lower populated or lower income areas and stuff like that. So that's like kind of his whole thing. And whether it's vaccines or you know, piss drinkers, in our case, it's like really important to like, I guess, remember that these people definitely are either outright victims or just desperate people in general. And that's kind of what I wanted to say about that before we get too into just like, I don't know, laughing at the dum-dums or whatever, you know. That's really why I never wanted to do like the pee drinking episode, because it's like, how do you talk about it for an hour? It's like, you know.
Well, sadly, I would say sadly, we have an administration like sort of intent and a Republican Party intent on like destroying vaccine mandates in Florida and embracing putting RFK Jr. as the health secretary. So like, you know, I feel like we're kind of in the bad timeline where the people that prop up the piss drinking community sort of won in a way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. We're in a darker era than I think we had originally imagined when we first wanted to talk about the piss drinkers. But you know, I still love laughing at piss drinkers, but it's also like,
it's important to contextualize. I think it's very fine to laugh at some of this stuff because it is funny. Like, come on, they use pee for everything. I mean, pee can cure asthma. Pee whitens teeth. It cleans your skin. It can cure cancer. It does. I mean, they do it for every time anybody. If you go into like one of these Facebook urine therapy groups that I'm in probably like 15 of. You just go in there and it's like, can urine therapy cure IBS or what, anything? And
that's
like, everyone's
relevant
like,
to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dude,
so wait,
start drinking pee, dude.
So I have ulcerative colitis. If I go in there and I'm like, I have a disease that is incurable. We do not know the solution. Scientists do not know this, but piss, urine, if I drink this or inject it, what do they do? Just drink it? Do they inject it? Do they like snort it? What do they do? Like, would they tell me, you gotta...
There's multiple methods, June. Come on. Depends on the time of the year.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
I'm not kidding. They do. So there was that one... Well, there was that one that I sent you, and I don't know if you got a chance to read it, June. It was like really distressing, where it's like this woman's like, I'm on my way to the hospital. I think I'm having a stroke or something really bad is happening to me. And it turns out she had been literally like snorting pee, drinking pee through her nose, I guess. And she'd said in the comments, like, this is like the third time it's happened because she is getting infections or something by doing this. And she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, should I tell my doctor that I'm doing this? And the top comment is a lady with an American flag profile picture. It says, no way would I tell my doctor. Most doctors would freak out and not understand, is my feeling and opinion. Mainstream doctors aren't ready or receptive to information like this. You're in the hospital for the third time for snorting pee, and you don't want to tell your doctor?
At that point, like, what's the point of having like a regular doctor to go to? If you're that distrustful of like any advice from establishment healthcare professionals, why even go? Why not just trust the community?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I've always thought that same thing, even with anti-vaxxers, because I also have anti-vaxxers in my family who have told me, like, of course, like, I'll still go to the hospital if I need something treated, but I don't trust their recommendations for preventative medicine. And for me, it's like, well, if your life is on the line, the first place that you're going to are these healthcare professionals. Why wouldn't you take what they're prescribing to be, you know, a preventative measure to prevent you from going to the hospital? Like,
and
really
I just, and like, you know, I think there is a lot of like systemic reasons why these people might not trust like big pharma or whatever, well, like, or doctors, but to like think that a doctor has like an ulterior motive, that like, what do they think, that doctors want them to die? Do they think doctors want their health to get worse? Is it just like a straight up lie? Do these people think doctors are like plants lying to them? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, yes, like they genuinely think that. And that, by the way, they're like, it's one of those things where the diagnosis is like largely vaguely in a not like a very nominally correct sense. Like, they're right, because this horrifying pharmaceutical industry where like their executives are involved in this like revolving door of like the I guess regulatory bodies over, you know, the drugs that they make, and they don't trust that system. But like kind of the farcical nature, the irony of like the Make America Healthy, the MAHA thing, like their solution is like, how about we just deregulate it and make it worse somehow? That'll fix it, right?
Yeah, that's like I feel like one of my fascinations in this Trump term so far is, and it's bleak, but it's been one of my favorite like communities to keep track of, is the MAHA community, the Make America Healthy Again community, because I feel like it's like the ultimate distillation of all of these people being like, oh, we got tallow fries now, so I'm gonna go eat steak and shake every day. Like, what? This isn't health. What, like,
June,
is
can
switching
you explain
sugars
to me the tallow thing? Because you've talked about it a bunch of times. I've always been too afraid to ask. Now's the time. What's up with this beef tallow shit? Why is this? Why am I seeing this everywhere?
So I don't necessarily know where this belief has come from, but so this was even before like the election in 2024, but there was like a growing community of people online, of individuals not trusting seed oils. People would look at photos of like McDonald's, like early McDonald's photos, like in this whatever 60s, and they'd make posts like, "Oh, no one used to be fat back then," and it's like, well, yeah, I mean, the food industry, like fast food, is different now. Like there wasn't as much fast food. There's so many different reasons. There's so many reasons why like obesity is increasing these days. But for some reason, they just were like, oh, the reason is seed oil, and they think the primary reason why they think seed oil is the thing and not like fried food itself, because like tallow is not inherently like that much different than seed oil and fried foods. It's like the act of frying food is what's healthy because it breaks down the like fatty oils and makes it like an unhealthier substance, which, you know, tallow is also similar. It's also similarly not healthy in the same way if you fry it. But there was just this belief. I don't exactly know where it stemmed from, but just that like switching seed oils.
Yeah, it's a seed oil
was
thing,
like the
because
solution.
Jews make seed oils, and they're all the CEOs of the you know, agri companies and stuff. Okay,
yeah,
I thought that was it, but
yeah, like a lot of it also ties into what you were saying, June, of like looking to the past of like, oh, everyone was fantastic back then. It plays into this like, you know, right-wing ancestral idea of, oh, we had it right. And it's the deterioration of modernity. It's all of the wokeness that's stopping us from going back to like these masculine bodies. Like, I think a lot of it is tied into like hypermasculinity too, of like, you know, the more that I eat these animal products, the more vital I become as like a human animal. And you want to get back to like this primal sense of machine. It's crazy.
It's kind of like, I feel like why the carnivore diet, like the carnivore diet is so appealing to a lot of people, especially in the right wing sphere. I think, wasn't it Jordan Peterson, to bring him up again, also was someone who did the carnivore diet and like went into a coma or something. Like he had to go to like Russia or something.
He after drinking cider.
And it's like all of these same people get caught up in all of these different health scams, and it doesn't ever fix anything. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen this one, Caleb. I feel like you might have heard of this one, but this one has kind of fallen off as MAHA's sort of like found a home in the way it has with seed oils and all this. But people that have been scared to touch receipt paper. Have you heard of this one?
I have heard of this one. There's like people that wear gloves and stuff. I think that one actually has a little bit of, it's like one of those things that maybe has like a little bit of merit to it and then it gets blown out of proportion.
Yeah. So I forget, is it like the product it's made of? Like there's some sort of substance that it,
I think.
Yeah, like it bleeds through your skin
itself.
very slowly or something like that.
Whoa.
I remember Googling this and I was surprised to learn that it did have, hang on, receipt paper. I'm Googling it.
You guys are piss-pilling me right now. I'm so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually an episode on how to convince you to join one of these alt health communities.
You're planting seeds of doubt right now. Shit.
Yeah, it does. I'm looking at the, well, I guess this is a Google AI overview. So excuse me. Let me actually click something first. But yeah, for the Guardian, for whatever. But yeah, I guess it includes like BPAs and stuff like that. And it absorbs through your fingertips. So that one's like kind of true.
And that's sort of the thing that's, I feel like sort of the heart with all of these is like, sure, it's sort of true that like seed oil is not always the healthiest. Like if you fry it and eat French fries every day, that's not necessarily healthy. And like, you know, maybe there's like you said BPA in the receipt paper, like maybe like
again,
that's
to be
not
clear,
like
I don't know
best.
if it's even like enough to actually make people sick. I just read a headline.
I'm sure it's not.
Yeah.
But there's always like this really small kernel of like half truth in so many of these. And I feel like people are just so desperate enough to be like, you know, maybe they're in pain. I feel like a lot of people don't always understand that people who have like disabilities or just people in poor health, especially in like some southern states, because I feel like if I remember correctly, southern states have just poorer overall health compared to like places like New York and California. Like people are desperate for anything that can maybe get them into a better place. I mean, it's the same reason why people are so convinced to pick up a book called Quick Ways to Get Rich or like 100 Days to Be a Millionaire. It's like people are just desperate for like a positive change in their life, and they'll literally just eat raw meat for 10 days straight and go into a coma.
Yeah. He was in a medically induced coma, to be clear, because he was getting he was withdrawing from benzos. The cider thing was real, but what it was is like he drank a cider and it like sent him into like a depression or anxiety thing. And he got on benzos because of that. And like the coma, he was literally in a medically induced coma to get off of benzos, because that's a very harrowing experience if you've ever been on benzos, to get off of them.
I have not personally.
Yeah. Yeah, but like this isn't like this isn't just happening for no reason. Like the Peter Hotez, the doctor I was talking about before, he talks about this a lot. He's written a couple books about, then he goes on and talks about this on like podcasts and stuff. But like the whole ivermectin thing, like, you know, there was that, what was it called? The hang on, it's in my notes here. America's Frontline Doctors. Have you ever gone down that rabbit hole before?
No. What is this?
So just I wish we had like we'll come back to this at one point, because it's so insane, like with like a right-wing disinfo person or something, because it's like just on the periphery of like my expertise or something. But so yeah, America's Frontline Doctors was just like this right-wing like political advocacy group, and what they did essentially is like they sold ivermectin through like bullshit telehealth appointments. And they used that money, millions and millions of dollars, to like fund right-wing politicians and causes. And
my God,
they're like tied into like the Patriot Party, Tea Party stuff. The CEO or the founder of it, her name is Simone Gold, and she like was arrested on January 6th. Like
she was there.
Yes.
Come on.
Like when I say that, like these people like that were taking ivermectin, they were essentially duped by like this multi-million-dollar industry that was very funded and organized to get people to take this as like an alternative to you know, the gay woke vaccines or whatever that Trump made, but they're still gay and woke somehow.
No, that's another weird thing, is how memory holds. that Trump was president during like the beginning of COVID. I feel like a lot of right wingers will always talk about like, oh, these oppressive COVID regulations and vaccine. And it's like quite literally all of this happened under Trump. Like this is very confusing.
Yeah, it's the same party that lacks any nuance, and everything that happened under the Biden administration is attributed to Biden himself. And yet
Yeah.
for Trump, that's just not the case. He's
Even the
immune
things he
to
literally
any
did
events.
himself.
Yeah, even Operation Warp Speed, which he approved, that got the vaccine expedited, is crazy.
Yeah.
But have you guys ever read Lee McIntyre?
Say that again.
Lee McIntyre. They wrote a book called How to Talk to a Science Denier.
No,
and that was always
not.
really interesting to me because I had anti-vax relatives. But it's a good book to check out. It's a pretty short read. I think it was only like 200 pages or something.
Are your family members still? I'm assuming they're still anti-vax. Do you talk to them about this?
I do. I try. I pause there. I try, but I also understand my own limitations because the more that you push people to like expose this vulnerability of them, the more that they start to see you as the enemy.
Yeah.
And I think this goes into kind of like the alienation of what a lot of these communities do, to where, you know, they are the lion amongst the sheep. They are the people who know the truth.
Yeah.
And those that are conforming to the mainstream ideas are just those that haven't been told what the correct ideas are. This book's really good because it really shows the overlap of these alternative health communities and just the tribalism that is built through that. And I think like the title of y'all's podcast is perfect because this has only been ever radicalized in the age of the internet. Like in the past, we're thinking like even like the early 20th century, like you'd always have your snake oil salesman, but these would be like anecdotes that are told by a couple members of the community that are kind of just seen as the nut jobs.
Yeah, the guy holding the sandwich board now is like a niche micro internet influencer or something.
Yeah,
right?
and those wild people of the village are just able to communicate with every wild person across the globe, and it really makes these ideas that much more palatable. You know, of further just establishing this idea in people's minds as this is the truth. We are in a post-truth society.
They're really able to network so well. I mean, one of the most successful, Caleb brought this up before we started recording, was Alex Jones with his like brain force shit. Mm-hmm. Like that is an insanely, he sells so much of that to his audience. It's absurd how much money he makes off of brain force. Like genuinely people buy this shit, and he's not the only one of these people. I mean, you talk about like the alienation, you talk to your family members and they start to see you as the enemy. I mean, we could see that just laid out in that piss drinker comment that Caleb, you read off earlier, where they were scared to talk to their doctor, and then there was that reply affirming them, being like, yeah, no, don't trust the doctors, they'll never understand, as they're bleeding from their nose. And
it's the two dumb bitches telling each other exactly the thing, except for like somebody who could fucking die because of this. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I used to. Oh, go ahead.
I think people outside the community too see the hesitancy of these people like being vulnerable as their own like self-embarrassment of like, I don't want to share this quirky thing I do.
Yeah.
But I think that the truth is that folks feel like they don't want to see people that they trust or people that they care about as their enemy. And it's not so much like they're embarrassed. They want to share the truth, but I think they're hesitant because they know that, oh, this is going to be another person I have to cut off because they can't see the truth that it is that I'm doing. So I think there's that miscommunication as well.
It's sort of cult-like in a way. Like, not that they're like, I mean, not that they're like founding a cult, but they're like kind of in a cult is what this is. Like a similar sort of function where they like have to cut people off and feel like they have enemies among their family and friends.
And that's how easy it is too to join the communities, is because you're in a vulnerable place. You might not have the financial means to seek professional help, or you just distrust it because you've been ripped off in the past. And there's a community with open arms saying, hey, we know you've been fucked over. This is why. This is the solution to all your problems right here.
Which,
and it really is the cult status. Yeah.
And it's like for these communities, it's two dumb bitches saying exactly. And then there's a third person around the corner profiting off of that. Mm-hmm. And they're like pain.
Yeah. I used to think about this in like binary terms of like, there were either true believers or there were just grifters. And then like just today when I was driving around thinking about this on my way to work or whatever. Thinking about
Always thinking about
it really
piss.
was thinking about, and we're going to tie this back into the piss drinking community with this comment. Was like, I don't think you need to be either or. You just need to be a capitalist. Like part and parcel of America is this like idea that we all know capitalism will always seek to serve new markets. And as the bottom fucking falls out on this whole project that we're living in, obviously like the piss drinkers are going to start serving those markets. And the perfect synthesis is one of my favorite influencers from this kind of community, Brother Sage.
Oh, is this the testicle dude?
I don't know. Yes or no. He very well may be. He's a man who believes in sunning his asshole. He is a man who sells courses on how to drink, store, manage your health symptoms with urine. He is like the, I guess, proprietor of like several different online piss drinking spaces. And he like, go do me a favor. Let's just do this.
Yeah.
And you
Let's
at
do an
home, why don't
activity.
you do this along with us? Why don't you go to brothersage.com?
Oh, that's sick. He got his own fucking name.
Yeah, no, he's in this. Like he's on like listening to his stuff on podcasts. It's fucking crazy too. Like he has he has thousands of followers across multiple platforms.
I could call him. I could give him a call right now.
Yeah. You can text him, and it wouldn't even be doxing because he posts that in public. And then he has these classes. If you go to the classes, my favorite one that he offers a class on, and I emailed him about this, although he didn't get back to me in time for the show, was physical immortality.
Let's go.
Yeah, wait, I need this. Shit.
Yeah, of course you do. We all do.
He's still alive, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
He
might
knows
not be
the
wrong.
secret. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wish like one of these people that offer something like this claimed they were like 150 years old, and they were like, "See, I just solved it." Like, why do none of these people claim that?
I've been here for 200 years. They just didn't have photographs back then, so
Yeah,
can't prove anything.
Yeah. No, he found the trick. I'm so sad that you can't like apply. Like I clicked on this because of course I saw physical immortality and I was like, oh, I'm clicking on this. I need to see what I can do to do this. But it sounds like you have to contact them and like email them or something about these.
Yeah. My favorite is like the testimonies on the bottom of the page. They're like very obviously just stock photos.
Wait, can we read all of them really quick?
Yeah. Why don't you read Oliver's and explain his relationship to Brother Sage?
Okay, so this is Oliver, and it looks like he did sacred breath work.
Yep.
Which awesome name. That's awesome. If you breathe, you want it to be sacred. And Oliver says, grateful to Brother Sage for guiding me towards enlightenment. His wisdom and expertise have transformed my life. I now embrace self-well-being with a newfound sense of purpose. Thank you. I'm going to read Angle. I guess her name is Angle?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like a 90-degree
angel, but it's like angle. Yeah,
like a 90-degree angle.
Let's go.
She did.
The
That's interesting.
reflexology course.
That's interesting that her name is Angle and it's about like feet. That's funny. So this is Angle that says, words cannot express my gratitude to Brother Sage. His teachings and holistic approach have empowered me to find inner peace and balance. His wisdom has positively impacted my life. So it's like a spiritual thing too. It's not just about living forever. It's about spirituality.
Yeah. And then there's Kalani's who did something called Shivambu coaching. Now, if you Google that, what that is like the kind of granola way to say urine therapy. They have that.
Oh boy.
So he took a course ostensibly on like how to drink and store his own piss. And by the way, June, Mason, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to share these before, but I was sending June some pictures.
Oh, you cut out.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was Kalani or someone else's, but that picture I sent you where there was like a person who had like 6 or 7 10-gallon glass containers full of aged piss, that came from a Brother Sage patient. So they store it.
Oh my
so
God.
They store it and drink aged urine.
Oh, it's fermented.
It's fucking fermented.
It's urine kombucha. Fuck.
And they sometimes
it's even fizzy too.
They leave it out in the daytime, but they leave it out at night to give it moon energy.
It soaks in the moon's rays. Yeah, there you go. Wait, what's so funny? If you scroll up too, it shows you like the stock photo of the class, and it's just the craziest AI photo of like this Gatorade yellow wine glass. Oh my god, with the hot dog fingers. It's crazy.
It's supposed to be piss. That's what that is. That's the piss class. The urine
piss.
therapy. Oh yeah. Oh my god.
I first found Brother Sage, I think it was during the lockdowns, and they did, I think I told you, June, that I went to like I didn't go because it was all virtual. I've done this twice now, the urine therapy like convention, the official one. And I watched Brother Sage speak for about 40 minutes on this whole thing and how it can cure every disease. And I thought, I gotta follow this guy.
How was the whole convention? So you went to 2023, or was it an earlier piss convention that you attended?
The first one that I went to, this was probably 2021. Yeah, the first year. They call it like the URO convention or something, but it was like a Zoom course, and there was like fucking 500 people in there. Like there were so many people watching. I was like, this is so crazy. And that was back then. Like the world was 10 times more insane, even just in the last few years.
Yeah. I'm
surprised. The only thing surprising about this is that Brother Sage isn't like some sort of White House appointee at this point.
Yeah.
RFK has him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be his like deputy. Next week, we're going to wake up and see, Brother Sage in the White House with RFK.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. He's also, like, he is tenuously connected. Do you remember when we did the live show and I talked about, like, the course that I took?
About levitating?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just for context, Mason, Caleb took a levitation course. He knows how to levitate.
Hell yeah.
And then I took, what was the other one? Every time I can get the chance to, I take one of their courses, and I use the patreon.com/kill the computer money to take these courses, and they're always great. But, what I love about Brother Sage is like, he also, if you go, he has like a directory, and it's like on his website, state by state, country by country, he has like, you can be on the P directory. And so there's like this like whole list of people that like, you know, are also other true believers that will sell you ostensibly like courses on immortality and drinking pee, I guess. It's pretty awesome.
I want to be on something
bored, you just go to this page and find somebody and just check them out.
I really want to be on the piss directory. That sounds awesome. That's crazy.
I'm treasurer of the Piss Coalition, actually.
PSA.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's all to say that, like, it's just more complicated. Like, you know, I think it's appropriate to laugh in some instances, but like, if you go into
I like laughing at Brother Sage personally, but the people. Sorry to interrupt, but I think you're going to say the people that are like fall for this very blatant grift is that's where it kind of gets a little sad.
Yeah, it's the same thing with like MAGA folks, right? Where a lot of people who voted for Trump just genuinely wanted change and just felt disaffected with the status quo and how much they see their material conditions deteriorating. But we can rightfully point to those that caused the false diagnosis of like conservative pundits and conservative politicians as fuck these people are monsters. Like we can openly make fun of them and chastise them without saying that directly to like MAGA voters, who oftentimes are people who would vote for collective interests if they're given like an actual energetic candidate.
Yeah. Well, was Dr. Hotez, again, just who has said this, because again, he's interesting to me because specifically, again, he has worked with like people in poor communities, and specifically he works a lot in Texas, and he's like, he was asked, and I can't remember what the guy's name was interviewing him, but he was asked why he's so gentle with these people. He's like, when I'm doing my field work, you know, these are the kinds of people that like would fight over who can help you change your tire if you break down. Like they're not bad people, they're victims. And it's like, I don't know, it's just important to kind of remember that too, even if like we do have, you're right, Mason, by the way, we have this like propensity to, and it's fine too. Like this has like your sensitivity to this and like how gentle you want to be, like has hard limits, because like some of these people are of course fucking Nazis or whatever. But like just to remember like the station that most of these people actually have or lack thereof is, I think, important to contextualize when we think about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I found first of all, I totally agree. I also found who the testicle guy was. It's Will Blunderfield. Have you guys heard of this?
No, but I'm so excited.
Wait,
I love it when somebody brings me a new freak.
No, I'm sure you all have seen Andrew Callahan, Channel 5.
Yeah.
So he did a full expose on this guy. It's 20 minutes. He went there. Basically, this guy also is a piss drinker. I didn't know that was part of his gimmick, but he's a piss drinker, and he sells this on a course. But his main shtick is it's heterosexual homoeroticism. And basically it's to try to create like vulnerable masculinity with other men. And the big goal is you store most of your life energy in your testicles. Okay. And if you spend time naked with other men in a completely heterosexual way, holding each other's testicles, you can unlock the inner chakras in both of you in order to bring like the best manliness from yourself. And it is a wild watch, but you see the genuine just like euphoria that these people feel in these systems that they've created in their own minds. And he is like, he speaks like a prophet. Like you listen to him and you're like, oh my God, this guy is onto something. And then you remember he's talking about like holding other people's testicles as a form of life energy. And it's like, okay, well, I'm bewildered by the charisma of these people.
It's crazy. And how many followers do you think this guy has?
Oh, he has millions, mostly people who are ridiculing him. Like on Instagram, He plays into it. And I think that there's like an aspect of him that like understands like, oh yeah, I'm the testicle guy, laugh at me, but I know this works. And I think that he genuinely like converts people that way who start off as looking at him as a joke. And the more that they watch, the more they're just like, dang, this guy seems really happy.
Making some good points.
if you get, if you have 1 million watchers every month, you're going to get 500 people who are like, you know what? Yeah, I do think this guy's onto something. And that's how this guy makes a living. It's crazy.
Roast me all the way to the bank, liberals.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why sometimes there is that like fine line where it's like, okay, is someone trying to do that exact sort of thing? And if so, maybe ease off like keeping their visibility, but like it's still very fun to laugh at these people. I cannot believe, oh my, what a thumbnail. Also, that's a crazy thumbnail in this video for the ball holding. That's fucking crazy. Yep. But it's like, how do people even think of this shit? Are they just like drunk or like high? And they're like, it'd be really funny to like trick a lot of people into like this cult. Is it that simple, do you think?
I think some of it starts from like reading texts of like different cultural customs that are just like lost to history. And people think they uncover like, like literary gold. And even if these things are like aligned with like religious practices or whatnot, like people will be able to contextualize it in whatever way that they want.
Yeah.
And it's like almost like, oh, I'm fusing ancient practice of like this inner, again, it goes to the primal, like animalistic nature of humanity. Yeah. And I'm making it help me grind in my grind set and become like the best me I can be. It's like, it's insane. A lot of these people are also involved in crypto. So there's like, just like the libertarian aspect of like, I'm going to pull myself up from my desperations, or I'm going to pull myself up from my health conditions. I don't need society's help. I will figure out like the ultimate secret of life.
Yeah.
That's just a big fucking bummer, guys.
See, I don't know, maybe I need to follow Brother Sage. What does he call it? The let me go back to Brother Sage.
I think we should take, dude. I'm not kidding. We should take the physical immortality course with Brother Sage.
Look, if
I
you
need to know,
how do we do this?
If he gets back to us, like I'm assuming, did you use the show account? If he gets back to you,
no, I did my personal one. I'm Facebook friends with him.
Of course you are.
Okay,
yeah, dude.
if he gets back to you, please, I need to be involved somehow. I need to learn how to become immortal, or like the Shivambu, the piss drinking. I'm open
not
to trying any of this
for this fucking show.
I'm not gonna do it.
I ate a Feastable for the show. I'm not drinking. I'd rather drink my piss in Feastable, but that's enough.
Look, I just want to like talk to him. I just want to like see what he's like. I'm not going to do it. I just want to I just need to know.
Well, when he gets back to me, and I know he will, I've talked to him before. Maybe we'll see. We'll do it. Maybe we'll see if we can get his permission to like record the immortality class and then just post it on our Patreon. We'll let it see what he thinks about that.
He seems to be like, I mean, he definitely has like clients, but he doesn't seem to be like out of reach. Like his online following isn't super huge, so I think that you could be able to maybe even get him on the podcast.
Yeah, we could do an interview.
Yeah, like listen, if you want the secret to immortality, you're gonna find it at patreon.com/kill-the-computer.
Unsurprisingly, though, he does have his biggest following on Facebook. That kind of is like ground zero. And Caleb, like
he has many Facebook accounts. I don't know what his deal is. If it's just like, because maybe this is like a relic of like when you could only have it was like 5,000 Facebook friends or something. But or maybe he just gets banned a lot, or I don't know. But he has like 6 or 7 Facebook accounts, and he owns like all of the urine therapy groups.
Of course he does. But
the first link is, did you know Brad Pitt says urine is sterile? What the hell?
That's it's a Fight Club. Oh, this has to be
hilarious.
some like AI bullshit or some garbage. But it feels like Facebook is like in a lot of cases ground zero for these sort of the spreading of these beliefs. Because Caleb, whenever you talk about these like weird communities, it's always that you found a Facebook group that you've ingratiated yourself into.
Yeah. And then that's why I add all these people too. And then because I can find other groups through what they're doing. And it's, I don't know. I don't go on Facebook very much anymore, but like I'm looking at my Facebook right now and it's like my shortcuts are urine therapy groups and then evidence of reptilian shapeshifters, which is a fascinating group chat that I'm in. And then like Chibson, which is like a Chinese Gibson thing. There's like a whole I wanted to do an episode on this, but I just haven't found a way to do this. But like there's an entire industry of like counterfeit Gibson guitars where people it's actually full of drama, and there's influencers and stuff within this that it's a whole thing.
Wow.
Anyway,
Incredible
stuff like that. That's what my Facebook is, and that's why I don't go on there anymore, because it's just too intense.
Well, I'm curious about your expertise in Caleb. Do you think that like these folks feel like a sense of calmness because they know the truth, or do you think they live in like a constant state of paranoia, or maybe a little bit of both?
I believe that there is like a like in any other sort of community, there's like a little bit of like there's always a little bit of drama and gatekeeping, which may not be the answer that you were expecting, but like there's like right and wrong ways to drink and store pee, and you'll see people like this guy comes in here all the fucking time and gives you're not doing it the right way. You don't ever put your fucking pee out during the sun when it's sun, because you can like cook it or you can get bacteria in it. You do it at night because you still get the sunbeams reflecting off the moon and it doesn't heat the pee up outside of unsafe ranges, blah, blah, blah. Like there's all kinds of insular infighting and drama, and people take sides, and it's just like any other like insane forum or whatever.
It's the pasteurized piss versus raw piss debate.
Yeah, there's also a huge debate as to whether or not it's good or bad to drink the first pee of the morning, because some people believe that it has stem cells in your first pee and the other ones don't. It's just like just stuff like that they just argue about incessantly.
So it sounds like they're paranoid, not really satisfied. I feel like if you're in a community that claims to solve all problems, but yet you are still like, you still have basic qualms like that, I mean, obviously I'm being a little goofy. Obviously this doesn't do anything. This doesn't actually solve anything. Well, so it's just a false hope is what it is.
It can actually make you extremely sick, first of all, but also secondly, like the one potential benefit that it does have is I guess it has like melatonin, your pee does, which can help regulate your mood. But like there are like a million better ways to get that without drinking your own pee. Like I read some studies about it, so just out of curiosity. But yeah, you can also like give yourself renal failure by doing this. So who could say whether it's good or bad?
So yeah, maybe just to our listeners, don't actually take these courses. Don't store it, don't age it. But if you do it in moonlight, not sunlight.
In moonlight for sure.
Yeah,
you actually want to crystallize the piss and then eat it like a rock candy.
Some people say what's the phrase, I can't remember, not words, like words of affirmation over the pee before they drink it, because you sip like
they're like witches.
You're really good pee.
Yeah, like what was it? Do you ever see that like fake documentary, What the Bleep Do We Know, where like you could change the like property of matter for water by saying thank you to it or something? Did you ever see that?
No.
Anyway, it's just shit like that. It came out in like the mid 2000s, and it was like a cult documentary. Like quite literally, there was a Ramtha cultist that was in it, and it was just this whole insane thing. But I don't know. I guess just the closing thought that I have on all that is like, it's just like any other like online community. These people are coming together over any shared interest, and just like whether it's a forum for an obscure band or our podcast Discord or just anything, like over time people do like forge meaningful friendships, and it's like interesting to watch them like become friends and form little splinter offshoot groups and stuff like that. I mean, it's people being people. A lot of it is like a product of horrifying misinformation and propaganda campaigns and desperation because they don't have access to the things that they need. But one thing that I think is very beautiful about this community, just like all others, is at the end of the day, those are human beings, and people are going to be, you're going to see the best of human beings and the worst of human beings in any time when they kind of you stay exposed to it.
That's actually an interesting point, because like not only is it like, you know, this country does not provide near what we should for people, especially in the medical world, but I feel like we just live in an age of alienation from each other too. So this is people in a crazy way forming a community, which I guess is like
pee, which is very funny, but it's like every emotion in one, right? It's like sad and funny and kind of touching a little bit, but fuck, man.
At least they're not alone, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. When most of your hours are spent at your job, you really have zero opportunities to meet other people except when your workplace and other hobbies. And this is like the perfect overlap of people who have been, you know, ruined by the healthcare system, and also just seeking any answers they can and finding each other. Like, you can't tell a more beautiful love story than the piss.
It really is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, that's probably a good place to wrap this one up. Any closing thoughts, Mason, or anything you want to plug? Where can our listeners find you? We want to get you back on Jubilee, and then maybe one last time so you can move away from it forever.
Yeah, there's actually another one that's coming out. I can't spoil who it is. That is the only NDA that I have to adhere to. But
wait,
it's going to be a big one.
Do you have a little bit of time? Can we talk about that? Which ones have you been on?
Oh, I've been on too many. And my rationale, I assume a lot of people, even in my community, a lot of people are like, Jubilee is a terrible company. It's a net negative.
And let's be clear, it's a deep evil in this world. It truly is. I
think that it does like shift the Overton window to just like cheerleading, if that makes sense. Like the whole point of political discourse on Jubilee is to just come in and root for the person that you already are ideologically aligned with. So I don't think that it's effective at building communities or getting people away from radicalization. But the reason why I go on, my justification in this, is I do think that I'm a strong orator of what I believe. I think that these are filmed in Los Angeles, where there are thousands, if not millions, of people who want to just go on any platform that's going to give them some sort of visibility. Mm-hmm. And for me, I'd rather have myself in that chair than somebody who is just going to completely either misrepresent that for the millions that maybe have never been exposed to leftist thought. And I think that I can plant seeds of doubt in people who are rooted in their ideology, to where I'm not going to change their mind overnight. But I've had people in my community who have told me like, hey, I've never heard of like a leftist that wasn't a screaming blue hair that I see on Steven Crowder or whatever. Mm-hmm. And like, I've been watching your stream and you're making some sense. And to me, I think that that's valuable, especially since they keep hitting me up. Like, I'm not going to pass it up. I live 30 minutes from the studio. Like, why not? And I honestly also do it just for the sick pleasure of getting to meet these people that I ridicule on the internet all of the time. Like I've talked to Charlie Kirk. I've talked to Ben Shapiro.
Oh, God.
I've talked with Michael Knowles. I've talked with Patrick Bet David was the most recent one.
Oh, it would be so hard for me to talk to those people. Jesus Christ. Oh,
yeah,
my God.
And for me, it's really just like I'm like watching a cloud. I'm like, oh my God, I thought your content's hilarious. I've been looking at your shit for so long. And you're just a funny person to me. And it's a funny in a bad way, because these are deeply evil people. And like we were talking about earlier, while we don't want to dehumanize the voters, the pundits, the politicians, the right wing, policy crafters, these are all people that we can properly call devious and disgusting and malicious. And so I like to say that to their face, and it gives me an opportunity to where I never would. I don't have a huge platform, so I don't think that I'm utilizing like my viewership to amplify these people's voices. If anything, I think that I'm being exposed to their community and hopefully planting those seeds of doubt.
Sure. Well, that's
but
awesome.
you can find me on OneHandPolitics on all socials. I'm primarily on Twitch. I stream really late. So if you want to listen to news commentary at like 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that's the place to be.
Hell yeah.
But
West Coast, baby.
Yeah. Are you PNW or where are you?
Yeah, I'm in Tacoma, Washington.
Okay. Yeah, I heard you say drizzle. I'm like, yeah, you're not in Southern California.
I'm staring down the barrel of the endless gray, and I realize I've wasted my fucking summer like I do every year.
Yeah, for some reason, this is the hottest time of the year for us. Like, we're finally hitting triple digits when we didn't in the height of the summer. So I love the changing climate. It's definitely
it's great.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, go check them out. I was on there a while ago. It's been a minute, but I was on there for the you do Secret Hitler, the game, every once in a while. I don't know if when was the last time. I think you did it last month. But that's always really fun. I really enjoy your Secret Hitler streams with just a bunch of other people in those. Those are very fun.
What's
I do those collab streams once a month. Wait, sorry?
What's Secret Hitler?
It's like a social deduction game. It's kind of like Mafia or Werewolf if you ever played those. But the whole point is like you're trying to figure out who's lying to you. If you're the liar, you're trying to gain people's trust. June is scary good at it. She completely called me out, and I don't think I gave any tell, and somehow she knew. It was great.
It was like the dumbest play I could have ever done, and it totally worked out for me. If I remember correctly, I like pretended to be a Nazi, and then I was a liberal. I was a good old liberal, and I like voted. Or I just like said I was a Nazi or something like that, and like I noticed two people were like really nice to me after I said that. I was like, huh. Why would if I'm a Nazi, why would these people be nice to me? And then I just like did a reverse call out. I don't remember exactly how it played out now.
I'm just a liberal that builds bridges, June. Come on. You gotta be friends with people who disagree with you.
You're a good old centrist. But no, fun stream. That's always a fun one to watch.
Really fun.
Yeah, I do those monthly, which is like I try to bring at least 10 leftist creators just so we're all able to hear different voices. And it's good for community building and people to hear other people. So yeah, I do that once a month. Caleb, if you're ever interested, love to have you on there.
Sure. Yeah, let's set that up. That'd be fun.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, thanks for inviting me, y'all. I appreciate it. I think it is so important to have these combos just because, like we said, these are not dumb people. These are just people who are alienated, who need community. And I really, this is not a full endorsement of like Channel 5, but I keep going back to them. I think that he does a really good job of exposing like these very niche parts of the world that are never really seen in depth. And it's really easy to ridicule something from the sidelines. But when you see the humanity of these people, you understand that they're just trying to live the best life as well. It can help ground like how to have conversations, even if it does seem like it's these, whack jobs who have no reason.
Yeah.
And I think that does build bridges to where they can leave these systems of radicalization.
I don't know if you've ever seen the show How To with John Wilson. But it's not necessarily like he's not trying to do like a political thing with it. But it's a fascinating and fun show. But he like stumbles upon these like weird communities. He accidentally ends up at a Mandela effect convention, and he finds this town where they don't use electricity. They're not like Amish people, but they're the people that think tinfoil will like protect them from the rays. And he just like talks to these people and just like goes into their homes and talks to them. And it's just like seeing these people up close, just like being people, but like obviously with like weird, crazy beliefs is always just like, they're just like desperate. There's just something going on here. They're not like, a lot of these people aren't, maybe some are evil, but yeah, they're not all evil. They're not all,
well, it's just like one of those things bad. when you humanize people, like you take in the bad with the good, whether that's like
but also it proves that like, the humanity in every group, like you're always going to get people who are socially acclimated and you're going to get people who are not. And if anything, that just proves that like, or it at least doesn't prove the generalizations to be true. Because otherwise you'd say, there's a problem with white people. Because they're 98% of all mass shootings. And like nobody's going to make that generalization because they're the majority in group. But it's really easy to use like one or two examples in smaller circles and say, oh, this is a representative of everybody in this, which is just bullshit sociology.
And the people that do that are, of course, the evil ones. Like these people are so fucking evil.
Who also know that's not true. They're doing that strategically because they think that lowly of their audience.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Mason. We'll love to have you back on in the future sometime. It'll be fun, and maybe we'll play some Secret Hitler, aka the name of our Discord.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. This was great.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it. Bye.